Good evening. Welcome to Open Topics with Don Armando. I'm your host, Don Armando Robles, or professionally known as Don Armando 809. So tonight, we're going to talk about Brother Polite and that idiot Enrique Tapias. So anybody who's listening or who wants to come up on the panel, the link is in the description or in the chat. So feel free to voice your opinions on those two matters and any other current events that I'm not aware of. So everybody who's watching, well, like I have one person watching. So this is my thoughts on Enrique Tario and Creepy Polite. He is not a brother in my family. So my thing is this: when Brother Polite was actually expressed, he was not only disrespectful towards other people, he was he was disrespectful towards Muslims, my fellow Christians, and any other religion. While he was talking about his views. So now that Brother Polite got sentenced for 7 years for violating a minor, my thing is that I don't have any sympathy for him, and I never believed him to begin with. Hey, Don Jose, how you doing? So I never believed in the theories or whatsoever of Brother Polite. Never contributed money to his cause because I saw right through him. I actually I actually think that him, Tariq Nasheed, and Dr. Umar Johnson are your modern day snake oil salesmen. They sell you a dream to think that it's going to rid of all your financial ills or your personal ills whatsoever. When the time that they actually preach on what you should do about your life or anything like that, 9 times out of 10, they got you suckered in and they'll say that they're making a school or in other things, they're making a profit of how you're going to do stuff so you can improve the quote unquote community. When the fact is, they're skimming all the people out of their hard earned money. And then on top of it, which is the icing on the cake, some of these guys are degenerates. So therefore, not only are you being duped, you're following a degenerate, just like a whole bunch of other people. Number one. Number two, when I actually became a serious content creator, I have came across a lot of Hispanics, my fellow Hispanics, who actually voice and actually sound like Enrique Tario. And me personally, we actually there's actually a term that was given by Radical Latino, which we call these pitiful individuals the Hispanotaps. So therefore, Enrique Tario was, in my opinion, the grand wizard of the Hispanotaps. I'm going to explain to you why I say this. Not only in his mind, he got suckered into a belief that he was going to go hard for a table that he would never sit on. He got most of the years for being with this organization. So he was the grand wizard. I'm just saying this, you know, off beat. I don't know the political standpoints of whatsoever, But to me, I actually think that he was what you would call a grand wizard with the Proud Boys. So with that said, he got sentenced. I'm not gonna be I'm not gonna go and post any inaccurate news or whatsoever. But I know that he got sentenced to 20 plus years. And guess what? He got arrested before January 6th. And he got charged with the riot while he was in jail. So you mean that he actually organized the riot and everything like that? Got arrested before he actually participated, and still got charged for seditious activity. Wow. Enrique Tario, the Grand Wizard of the Hispano Taps. That's what we're gonna call him. The Grand Wizard of Hispano Taps. So, with that said, the Grand Wizard of the Hispano Taps got sentenced. And I hate to say it, I actually liked Enrique Tario because because he was a well spoken man. He is, but he's going to prison. So this is a lesson to all the people that want to go and bash on African Americans and Afro Latinos just because you want to be Team MAGA or you want to be a ultra conservative or anything like that. When you go hard for a table that you will never sit on, 9 times out of 10, when it hits the fan, you will get all the brunt of everything that you actually fought for. And the people that you fought for will actually treat you like trash. This is a common thing that actually happens. So I'm saying for all you people who want to be turncoat for the Latino community and the Afro American community, and you want to embrace and bash your own people just because you want to be into the big conservative family, but yet they throw you out after you do their dirty work. Was it worth it at the end? I don't think so. And look at Enrique Tario, all you Hispano chaps that go around on TikTok bashing Caribbean people, bashing African Americans just because you had a bad day, and then you want to actually say that you're a conservative Latino. 9 times out of 10, if you don't treat people with respect, it go all the respect will not be treated to you. So with that said, I don't feel sorry for Enrique Tario either. He messed up big time. So you have to give him a round of applause and creepy polite because he's not a brother of mine. The donkey of the week because they're both donkeys. They got convicted. They lied to people. And guess what? They was on social media. Congratulations, guys. Y'all played yourselves. Yes, I'm going to say this. Enrique Tario and brother Whole Night. Y'all played yourselves. And me personally, I'm going to say a personal message to brother Whole Night. I don't believe in what you actually said. You disrespected a lot of people's faith. And guess what? You're going to be serving 7 years in the penitentiary. To all my boxers who are behind the G wall, I actually will support when you use this man as a human punching bag. And that's it. He's a degenerate. And Enrique Tario is just the dumbass of the week. That's how I'm putting it. All right, so I'm back. Had to eat me a good cheese. So, if anybody wants to come up, the link is in the chat description, and then we could chop it up and listen to my good old theme music. Well, whichever one it is. And to Hebrew Lion, where you been at, bro? It's you and Axe Man that I haven't seen in ages. But then again, I haven't really done this in ages. Since, I took on some new endeavors within my personal life. So, I'm still trying to gain my followers and everything like that organically. So, that's what I'm doing. Shout out, there's 2 people in the building. Hit that like button. All right, so I see that you got 2 people in the building. I hope it increase. Yo. Yeah, so I'm going to try to at least connect with a lot of people, up in the light and everything like that. If people want to be seen in the light, here I am. If not, I think I might just do it like this. So, this is one thing that I don't understand about certain people that actually follow these nutcases. Number one, why is it that you have certain people that they want to be suckered by these modern snake oil salesmen like Doctor. You know what? They have a whole bunch of titles that you're not even sure if they even have the right certificate to read y'all. First of all. Second of all, where did I want to know everything because I've been hearing online that this personality that actually been on these YouTube streets by the name of Sinetta was the one that actually schooled Brother Polite. So if anybody knows the backstory behind Brother Polite, please inform me about anything because I just only started hearing about this guy like it had to be like around 2016 or 2017 because he was making a name of himself at that time before he became a creep. So this is my thing. I want to know the root cause of why these guys rose to fame. I'm talking about Sinetta, Brother Holite, and various other up-and-coming snake oil salesmen that want to actually sell people alive. Yes, and we've actually met people within our own collective, don't I say, that actually exhibit some of the traits of Enrique Tario. So Enrique Tario, you know, he was the leader or grand wizard of the Proud Boys. I don't know what chapter, but when I actually saw a documentary, it looked like that he was the head of the Miami chapter. And he described himself as an Afro-Cuban. So I actually watched the documentary, I think it was on Vice, and they were talking about it. He was actually saying that he was not racist because of his Afro-Cuban roots. And he actually believed in conservatism. And to me, the backstory that I've heard is that before he actually joined the Proud Boys, he was a snitch. He actually was arrested and I guess serving some time in jail. So he contacted the feds. And this is what they have actually said like on newspapers and various media outlets, that he actually cooperated with the government once upon a time to shut down a marijuana farm in Florida. So you can look it up. Enrique Tario. It's to the point that right now, a lot of these sheets are not really gaining momentum. And I believe that Rumble is where they're only going to gain momentum with a whole bunch of people who are up there collective. Because I see on TikTok every day of people who are trying to tell others about their Hispanic race or whatsoever, when the fact is they are not actually qualified in history, nor they actually went and took the research to actually tell who a person is whatsoever. So therefore, when you have certain people who are vociferous value and they want to actually comprehend what you said, part what you said, but not the whole thing what you said, you could actually tell that certain people fail that reading comprehension when they actually were going to school. I mean, shoot. I just went up and I said maybe one statement on TikTok. And then I had a whole bunch of quote unquote Latinos saying that I'm self-hating and I'm uncultured and everything like that. When the fact is that my comments was about certain things that actually happens within the Latino community. So when people actually think with their emotions and don't think with facts, you actually will get a lot of stupid comments. You could actually check my TikTok, which is Don Armando in sheepish and immature comments that was left on one of my posts. But it's funny because I made this post and a lot of people got triggered because they were saying that I'm turning my back on being Hispanic. You can't turn your back on something that you was actually born. I'm sorry. Just because a person has a different opinion than yours doesn't make them your enemy. If people actually knew how to debate and become friends afterwards, there'll be more respect. But then you got certain people that don't know how to respect to get into their feelings whatsoever. Then they want to call you an enemy just because your beliefs are different from theirs. So this is what I'm saying. In life, you're gonna meet a lot of people whose beliefs are different than yours. Or are you gonna make the whole world your enemy? Or you could go and respect those person's differences and still be friends. Now shout out to Irby. So if Irby, if you want to be in the paddle, I got the link in the description. You're welcome to come up, man. Yeah, we're chilling, Irby. We're just talking about current events. Enrique Tario got his 20-something years and brother whole life. Yeah, those idiots. And I hope that they give Brother Polite, when he actually enters jail, the five finger greetings, because he deserves it. How the heck are you trying to be a leader of a community, but yet you went up and did something so despicable and you put it out to us? The mother had the last say. It's all out in the media. You admitted it. You're a fraud, a crookster, a degenerate. Like, come on. How the heck are you gonna go and skim people of all their monies and everything like that? And then on top of it, you turned out to be a very filthy degenerate. How can you live with yourself? I mean, I don't know if you're gonna even live after they punch out your teeth. I mean, come on. From the prison shows that I've actually seen on YouTube, and then on top of it, you're going to a Florida prison. 9 times out of 10, you're not going to have any front teeth afterwards because you're degenerate. And they tell people what happens to these degenerates. Just don't think that justice is not being served, because every prisoner has a mother, a sister, an aunt, or a female relative. So therefore, when you actually come up into the prison and people thinking that you're going to be cool, 9 times out of 10, they're just going to break your jaw. Creepy Polite. So, Creepy Polite, what makes you think that you are so great? Let's be honest. Like, everybody was saying, "Oh, they hope there was the truth," but you want to be tweeted out on it. Like, you also admitted to everything. So you just told the world that you're a degenerate. You didn't even fight it. And then you have certain people saying, "Oh yeah, you just got out and everything like that," spreading lies on YouTube just for some clout. I'm not about clout. I'm just trying to be real for the people. And my view may not be another person's view. But one thing I gotta say is this. Brother Polite, you're a damn degenerate. You wanna be so pro movement, but yet you scamming your own people. How do you even live at night? I mean, that's like one of the most disrespectful individuals I've ever seen on YouTube. I'm glad I never met him. I'm glad that I never met Dr. Umar. I'm glad that I never met Tariq Nasheed. Because personally, I think both of those are just, all three of these guys are cornballs. And they're going to go try to tell me on how to go and how I should move and everything like that when they don't even have a solid foundation to help people. I mean, everybody having a war of ideologies, and you wonder why certain people cannot just be united. Stop the ideologies and become one movement. And you have to go and kick out all these people who are a detriment to your movements. I'm talking to all my Latinos and my African American, my Caribbean brothers. Go kick, root out all the bad elements in your movement, so therefore y'all can be flourishing. So therefore y'all can be economically strong. Because if you have one rotten person in your corner, your movement will fall. So, if anything, I'm just going to tell you this. Dr. Umar, I just live in Philadelphia. I do not know his backstory. But there's a lot of people in Philadelphia that don't even care about what Dr. Umar is saying, first of all. Tariq Nasheed, I don't know who you are or anything like that, but you don't strike me as a person from the hood, from the statements that you actually were talking about hip-hop. You look like you don't even like hip-hop to actually be commenting about it. And creepy polite, oh, somebody Mike Tyson's your jaw in jail. Honestly, you don't go around and hurt innocent people, especially an innocent child. Yeah, jerk. Yeah, that's what it is. He's a walking target. How you doing, Ramon?
What's happening? Hey,
I'm chilling.
what's going on?
All right. Well, we got like two topics this evening. The first news is you heard of this guy, Brother Polite. I actually renamed him Creepy Polite because he got convicted for nefarious deeds, which I'm not going to say because I don't want to be demonetized by the YouTube mafia. But let's just say that he actually went up and harmed a young person, and he pled guilty. And he's going to serve
I
7
heard
years.
something. Yeah, well, he pleaded. From what I have heard, because I know who the guy is. I know who he is.
Yeah,
I first heard about him a number of years ago. That he was
yeah,
one of
like around
the conscious
2016. Yeah,
type.
yeah.
Uh-huh.
But to me, but
And I remember
but to
hearing.
me,
Uh-huh.
it's like with all that said, like all the stuff that he was saying and everything like that, I never really believed him because he just didn't vibe with me. I don't know what it was, but it's just that he didn't vibe with me. And it looked like he was fighting this case or whatever have you, because I've heard when it first came out. I didn't know the details. And I was not following it until yesterday when they said, "Oh, he got convicted." So when I actually was looking at another podcast, and they actually played the tape of him admitting to what he was doing. Allegedly, there was if he didn't have that plea deal, all the evidence of what he did to that young girl would have played out, and,
Mhm.
and he would have gotten like maybe a higher sentence than what he's actually saying. Hey, how you doing, George?
Yo, what's going on, man?
Yeah. Now
Well,
the
uh-huh.
second part it pertains to us as Latinos. The Latino Grand Wizard of the of the Shane Boys. They're not proud anymore. They're the Shane Boys.
Hmm.
I'm not going to quote because I know it's 20 something years that he was sentenced, and he didn't even participate in the January 6th. Ru-
Well,
Um,
he was affiliated with them. I mean, I don't know
he
if they
was
were using the
affiliated.
whole.
What
I don't
happened
know
is
if
they were saying,
they were using like the Rico status on him. I mean, he was seen as
yeah,
as a leader or one of the prominent guys in the group. So I mean, I don't know if they used Rico on him, even though he may not have been there physically, but maybe it was proven that he was
yeah,
associated with them. Hmm.
yeah, because it was like, because from what I read, right, with Enrique Tario, right, they were saying that even though he got arrested for destroying a Black Lives Matter sign in the church on January 5th, and then January 6th is when they stormed the Capitol. They actually convicted him, from my understanding, for seditious acts.
Right.
So even though he was not physically there committing the acts, it was proven that I guess he orchestrated the plan, even though he did not physically participate because he was arrested just for destroying the Black Lives Matter sign in front of a church a, a day
Hmm.
earlier.
But the thing
But
is
I'm
that
like,
the thing is that's what he gets for being associated with who he was associated with. The thing is that with some white supremacist groups, yes, they may have some Hispanics or Latino associates. We see them. It's kind of like the whole thing with Nick Fuentes. There might have been some of them that might be associated, but they know that they're never really gonna be in the same position. They will never be in the same place of importance as the whites. I mean, they may have been Hispanics with of European descent, but the thing is that for the fact that they're having kind of like a Spanish name that already kind of disqualifies them. Uh, they are maybe allowed to be associates because they look kind of like white enough, but not 100%. They're not seen as the same. And this could be a situation in which they needed a fall guy. They needed a fall guy. So to try, he had to take one for the team, so to speak. Um, so that the whites get scot free because they're trying to get the others scot free, and there are publications like the Epoch Times and I don't know if Candace Owens is doing some shit about that, in which they're trying to prove that the trying to prove the protesters, the seditioners, they're trying to prove them innocent, trying to make it seem like they actually allowed them into the building and they didn't break in and stuff. They're trying to minimize what they did so that nobody they're trying to keep somebody or people out of jail. Now, Enrique Tarillo, he's not going anywhere anytime soon, but they're trying to keep use him as a fall guy so that the likes of of Trump or other prominent parts of the Proud Boys that were supporting him to make sure that they stay out, that they don't go to jail, because they think that that's
Right.
a ridiculous thing that they're doing, that nobody should go to jail, because it was a demonstration of
Hey, how
uh,
you doing, Jojo?
Oh, I'm doing wonderfully well. How about you two, gentlemen?
Oh, we're
hey,
doing good.
hey, we're doing okay, my dude. We're doing all
Yeah,
right.
so I see that you guys are actually talking about those like Joe Biggs and like Enrique Terrio, right? Because I was going to interject my input into that really quick.
All
Yeah,
Because
right,
go
all
on.
right. So yeah, all right. So just say what you gotta say, Jojo, because we're all ears.
so, I mean, you guys, I mean, you already know like my background and all this other stuff, but I digress. So, although those groups are groups that I don't really want anything to do with, and in fact, like I think that the like the American like social climate right now has caused everybody just to become so schizophrenic to where I don't want anything to do with any group that's just so politically charged, especially whether it's like either like the MAGA camp or the Proud Boys or even just even left-leaning groups too. I think they are overcharging those like Joe Biggs and Enrique Terrio because Joe was not even there. He did not storm the Capitol. And the fact that he is getting a 17-year mandatory minimum sentence when he has like a young girl and a sick mother to take care of, that in itself is just the epitome of corruption at its finest. Like, regardless of where you guys may stand socially or politically, you have to admit that, hey, there's a lot of dirty political foul play that's going on. That was BS, guys. That's bullshit right there. I do
Mhm.
not think that
Yeah.
he now needs to lose practically 2 decades of his life and just over him being like an influential figure within the Proud Boys structures. That's just BS. Like, I don't really care where you may stand politically, or even if
Right.
I don't like you, I'm not going to want to wish that layer of harm upon you, even if I may disagree with you politically. If I don't like you,
Right.
I'm just going to say, well, you know what? Good luck with all your endeavors in your life, but I'm not going to want you to have practically 2 decades of your life taken away from you, especially when you have a family that you have to attend to along with your obligations. And with Enrique Terrio, by the way, like Ramon, I knew a girl who slept with him. She was very trashy too, but that's another story. But I think that,
Damn.
yeah, dude, if you've gone through everything I went through, and if you have hung out with a lot of those types, you're going to see how much of a small circle it is and how you're going to know such and such. You get
All,
deep
all,
into those
all,
circles.
all,
Yeah,
all,
so I knew a
all
girl
right.
who slept with Enrique. Yeah.
All right. All right. So therefore, all right. Now this is like, and I'm just, and this is not gossip or anything like that. So, all right. When you met this female that actually said that she had her her relations with Enrique, right? Was
Mm-hmm.
it that they were boyfriend or girlfriend? Was it a drunk night? Or was it like how certain people will actually say, you know, a swingers party or something like that of this sort. I'm just saying because this is the United States.
No, no, but let's get to the tea. What did she tell you?
She
Exactly.
would, meh,
Did
kind
she
of the
have something to
typical
say about
stuff.
the guy? Uh-huh.
Yo, because this is news. I'm like, all right, it ain't really news, but it was like, wow. All right, I'm like, wow.
Yeah, it's just that what happened though is that they just took advantage of each other. They thought that they were at a
Mm.
very low point at each other's lives, and I guess you
Right,
could say one thing led to another.
Uh,
Everybody knew that about her. I'm not gonna say her name. Maybe I'll tell you, man, like on like Facebook Messenger. But
no,
right
no,
yeah,
now,
no,
yeah,
I'm
yeah,
not
yeah,
no.
yeah,
You don't
gonna
have to
yeah,
say. You
open
don't
up a
have to
can
say
of worms
names.
I don't want to open
yeah,
up here
yeah,
on the
yeah,
live.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Tell us on Facebook Messenger because
Yes, yes, and honestly, I
that
think
that
that no, go on.
I mean, like, hey, was it to the point that she commented good about this guy? Did she comment bad about this guy? Was it Was she hurt? Was it the best time of her life? Was it that she became a stalker? And you said
No,
that
no,
she was
but
and you said that she was
you're
trans.
giving. No, 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 but let Giorgio elaborate on that. Now I want to hear this.
Right.
The only
Yeah.
thing I'm just gonna say is that she thought he was good in the bed,
Uh-huh.
but moments later, she regretted that.
Oh,
That's just
Wow.
the end of the story. She
Wow.
knows who she is, and she knows who I
Uh
am.
huh.
She does not like
Uh
me.
huh.
She knows my previous affiliations, and that's just
All
that.
right.
But yeah, I'm not gonna put her out on blast like that because, dude, you see how I at least have ethics, man. I'm
Yeah.
even though this is a woman I don't like, and honestly, I think that she's very twisted minded. I'm not gonna get onto this live stream and air out all her dirty laundry or say who she is and what she looks like. Because again, man, it's all about morality. Like,
mm-hmm.
I
although I
mean,
don't like Enrique and I'm not a fan of any of these groups anymore, come on, we have to
right.
admit that there's a lot of corruption here at play because you guys just want to incarcerate these guys for 2 decades because you guys just don't even like them.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm like me personally. It's not even that. If you really look at it, right? Like, like him getting to like 20 years. It's like okay, I could understand that that it was a woman that actually did the that I think that she actually went into the White House, and I think she had a similar sentence. I'm just quoting, but Ramon will know more about this. You know who I'm talking about, right, Ramon?
Um, I haven't put it together. Yeah, somebody,
Or
some of the people that you're beefing with, because I know that you are not seeing eye to eye with certain
no,
people,
no, 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 no,
and
no,
I
no,
think it's
no,
one of
no, no,
three
no, no,
people.
no,
Then.
no.
Uh-huh.
No, we're not talking about that. We're talking about history that pertains to you, because there was a Puerto Rican lady that actually set foot in the White House, and they charged her with, and they gave her a lot of years in prison.
Ah, okay. You're talking. You might be talking about Lolita Lebron.
Yes.
Yeah, Lolita. Lolita Lebron led a group inside the Senate floor and did a shootout in there, and she was in jail for a number of years. I don't think they killed anybody, but they did shoot rounds. They did shot up on the on the roof of the Senate, and there might have been a couple of people that got wounded, but I don't think they killed anybody. But that was in protest for um it was a pro independence. It was a pro independence move that they did. I mean, and the thing is that ties into what happened a few decades before, because one of the guys that were in that group that stormed the Senate and did the shooting, when he was a kid, he was in Ponce, in the town of Ponce in the south of the island where the massacre happened. That was in the 1930s and the 20s. Well, the Ponce massacre happened because at that time, Puerto Rico was under military dictatorship. I mean, even though Puerto Ricans were citizens already, but there were no bills of rights. There were not bill of rights
All right.
guaranteed to the people. So people couldn't protest. Definitely couldn't wave the flag because that was an automatic jail sentence. And the Ponce massacre was because there was a peaceful protest that was organized and they got the permit for it, but the general that was in control of the island revoked it at the last minute. And what happened is send his troops to gun them down, and they were not armed. The protesters were not armed. And one of the people that were in the shootout at the Senate was one of the guys that when as a kid witnessed the massacre. So there was that sentiment of wanting to get away from a dictatorship.
All right. Um. All right. Now we're gonna let Don Jose speak.
Take it away,
Uh,
bro.
Good evening, guys. It's just that the problem is I'm currently working, and from my end, there is some background noise, so therefore I have to like keep myself muted until I'm given an opportunity to speak. To Brother the fact of the matter is, he confessed regarding the deed that he did, which we're not going to mention, and it was committed against, allegedly, against a minor, because 14 years old, and by most definition, is a minor. And this is the thing, and people need to bear in mind that this is like a sickness, also like a like a demonic spirit. And whenever those individuals are guilty and end up in prison, I mean, basically, they are a target for everyone, because when you have certain acts committed against women, children, and the elderly, it does not bode well to those convicted.
Exactly. Hey Ray, how you doing? You're welcome to come up.
As far as the other person, I don't know anything about the person who was sentenced to 20 years in prison regarding his involvement allegedly regarding the January 6th insurrection that occurred 2 years ago. Excuse me, I gotta mute myself because someone's asking me a
All right. Now, this is one thing I'm just gonna say. Now, with I've said my piece about creepy, polite, and Enrique Tario.
Hmm.
Now, this is one thing I don't understand. All right, Georgia,
uh,
regarding your history.
I apologize. Like I said, someone asked me a question, so I had to mute myself. But one thing, now there's one person that needs to be, I think, need to be convicted with this part regarding the January 6th insurrection, and that's Donald Trump, because basically he egged these people on to give them the marching orders, and then try to make it sound like he has no, he's innocent of the whole thing. I'm sorry, he's just as guilty as everybody else.
Yes. All right. So, Georgia, I want to ask you a question.
Shoot it.
Regarding your history and everything like that. So, I mean, with your experiences and everything, what will make people join these type of groups? I mean, like from your experience and from people that you have interacted with. So, what will make a person gravitate towards joining these groups?
The promise of protection and loyalty and family. And then plus also during that time, you get a lot of these types of people who want to feel validated for the first time, or people who are just trying to chase after public accolades. And those social movements and circles are the best way to try to chase after the attention or clout or the public accolades that you're bloodthirsty for. But then again, also at the same time, to be fair, some people may truly believe in the message and they would like to be a part of the acceleration. That could be anything, honestly, though. Even if it's like a left leaning group, or even if it's pretty liberal, though, they all attract these elements that are like chasing after like social affirmation, though, or if they truly do believe in the messages to convictions and principles, they'll join it.
Hmm. Yeah, the reason why I ask is because, all right, I actually like, in my own aspect, right? I actually like into these movements these political movements in the United States as cults. Because one day I was actually watching a YouTuber. She's actually based in Japan. Her name is Aki Dearest, right?
Hmm.
So she was reading a manga which was put out by this cult by the name of Om Shimri Cult, Kyo. So the head of that cult before he got executed was Shoko Asahara. That he was responsible for the Japanese for the Tokyo sarin attacks. So with that, I'm just saying, like with all the stuff that people are joining these organizations. One thing that I've actually seen is that they have like a cult like following, even in Europe and Canada. So I just wanted to know the psychology and the basis of it.
Cults are very attractive. Like once you have found like your echo chamber that rocks your socks, then the cult mentality is what you're going to gravitate towards just naturally. That even goes for the whole QAnon crowd too. Very cultish.
Mhm.
I mean, yeah, because I'm gonna be honest. I never understood what QAnon was to begin with. And and how this guy looked like Davy, the guy that went up and stormed the building, looking like Davy Crockett on crack. Um, I forgot what they called him, but yeah, they try to say that the Simpsons predicted it because they showed a man with his same features on the Simpsons, and then you see this guy. I forgot what they called him. They called him something in the media. I forgot what they called him. Oh yeah, they
I
called him the
know
shaman or something
I
like that.
know who you're talking about. Base Shaman Man. Yep.
Yeah.
I
I'm
know who
like,
you're
okay,
talking
so the QAnon shaman, right? So
Yes.
okay, this is my thing. If he is so much of a shaman, right? And people they just went up and they coined this term with that, right? I mean, from my childhood and everything like that, my illustrations of when they talked about the American explorers was that they always had a raccoon hat. Maybe that was just me, but when they were talking about, Davy Crockett, Jim Bowie, and all the other people that 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 legends were made of, I
Yes.
actually, I, I will not actually, in my mind, I will not actually liken them to a shaman. You get what I'm trying to say?
Yes, and I can tell you what it is though. It's just a LARP at the end of the day.
Yeah,
It's a LARP, means live action role play. There's nothing that's ever going to grow beyond the LARP, other than it just being an ordinary LARP that's not really going to be conducive to whatever kind of success or achievement they're trying to reach.
yeah,
But I also am going to put it like this: when it kind of comes to the whole QAnon crap, Antifa crap too, the Black Bloc anarchist crap as well. Let me put it like this: even with Trump and even Biden too. The great Thomas Sowell said this in his own words: "Politics is the art of making your selfish desires seem like the national interest." You got a country here full of 330 million people. That's going to come along with all sorts of different philosophies and ideologies, and not all of them are
right.
going to mesh quite well. So that's where you have to find a balance. But you're not going to find that balance with the two-party system. That's kind of why at this point I'm kind of more like fourth position. I'm kind of more like even more of like even like a Ron Paul like libertarian independent type, if anything, except like it's just a person like that's never going to run because they're not a part of the two-party system. But that's just
All
kind of
right.
like where I am at this point, and not really a part of the whole radical shenanigans, because that's not going to get you far. Because let me put it like this: that circle tends to attract a bunch of bored, broken, and bitter people. So just think about that.
All right. Now, I have to ask you something personal,
Mm-hmm.
Giorgio. And it's an individual that you and I have come across, come with paths and everything like that. So this is one thing I'm going to ask you. We're not going to mention that individual's name because he's worthless. But this is one thing I'm going to ask. How did that problem start with you? Because
Between me and this particular individual,
yeah, you know who I'm talking about.
honestly, it's silly
All right.
because me and this person, we have barely ever exchanged words, to be honest. It
Right.
all started off with me just writing a comment on one of his lives, actually agreeing with what he was once saying, such as saying that, oh, if you come to my property or house or whatever, you're going to get the hammer. Well, I think that's just common sense. And I think
Right.
any other ordinary, just normal person who can legitimately defend him or herself would do. And then that's just when the pointlessly hostile comments just started. And then that's just where I'm starting to see the puffing out of the chest. And I'm like, whoa, hold on, man. Like, what the hell? What the hell did I do? Sure, yeah, you may have seen like stuff about me on the internet, but I've been way open about that before you guys even knew who I even was. And you're
Right.
just puffing out your chest because you don't like me, along with the fact that I was once chummy with people whom you also didn't like either. But those people I don't even talk to at all anymore because of all the burning of bridges still, and just me just needing to go into a more of a independent direction.
Right. I will tell you how it started with me. It started by a comment on when I just first got my community tab, right? So it was just that I put out something. I didn't know who this person was. This had to be in like November or something. So the person went up and said, "Okay, you're clickbaiting." I'm looking at this message. I'm like, "Okay, I never clickbaited for nothing." So I blocked that person. Now, as you know, Ramon and Jose, we was this is we was on Fighters live one day, which and you was too, George, or
I
when we were
remember.
trying to talk, when we were trying to say like, okay, yeah, um, I am a real Dominican, which to me it turned out to be a farce afterwards. But that's just my terminology. So I was talking to another individual. I was new to those spaces at the time. So I went up and me and that person had like a good discourse. It was a friendly discourse and everything like that. I was talking respectfully or whatever. Now the next day, somebody went up and alerted me that this guy was talking crap about me. So while that person was talking crap about me, they called me by another guy, which I was not familiar with, who goes by the alias Duke. So when I was being called a Duke or whatsoever, and knowing my history when I just actually started being on social media and the hate that had come along with it, I was like, okay, this is 2023. And while I was looking in the comments, that person, which I didn't know who it was saying that I must be filth just because I hang with an individual that he did not like, and he's gonna do this and do that.
Uh huh.
Okay, I was like, all right, I could go around and act wild and everything like that, or I could do the adult thing. I blocked these guys, and I guess they were going on about me or whatsoever. This, that, and the third. Now, I've had the person that certain people don't like on my panel several times. We were not even talking about this pitiful individual. So one day I showed a picture of 9 years that me and my wife had actually been in a relationship, and we
I
made
saw,
2 years
yeah,
married.
I saw the Jigglypuff comment. I remember that.
It was not even. It was that was before that.
Hmm.
The person. This is what the person did. The person said, "I'm gonna," not knowing, I didn't know who this guy was. This guy went up and said he's gonna write a special report on. And I remember this saying because I was um I was actually on my way going to the Dominican Republic to handle certain personal things. So when I saw that right there saying that I'm gonna have a special report, I'm like, a special report on me. Wow. So a guy is making a special report on me. I wonder what I did to this guy. Oh, it gets even better. My channel is called the Struggle Channel. I'm gonna be shut down for letting one person go at these two individuals. I am a Philly monoracial ass nigga. It gets interesting though. The guy was like, I am not even Latino. And the icing on the cake is I can't wait until I send the order of protection on you. Order of protection. I don't even know you, bro. Yo, I'm like, you saying all this stuff. You want to go and send all these threats, and then after that, you say that you're gonna get an order of protection on me. I'm like, I don't even know you to even care. I'm like, I could understand if we was in an open combat or something like that, but you're gonna send an order of protection on me just because you have I have somebody on my panel that you don't like. Remind you, you don't even be on my panel. You don't know who I am. I know who you are. I know who you're aligned with. So that person went up and gave themselves up for saying, I am not Latino. Yeah, I know who you're talking to. I'm not going to say their names because they're felt just like you. No, I'm not saying anybody. I'm not saying anybody. I'm just saying the person in question that we're talking about.
Oh, I know.
So
What?
But
so
yeah,
that
but
so
yeah,
What?
mm,
What's up? Oh, never mind. The way I look at all of that is that I'm looking at it like this. I am 31 years old, right? I am not into all the childish antics that him, along with others, have been pushing out and have been relishing in. I'm a lot better than that. And that the whole thing is also like based around the fact that he has a fascination with my previous circles, which I've been open about way before any of you guys knew me. And I actually used my story as a source of inspiration to a handful of other people out there who may have dealt with probably some degree of self-hatred and are in need of deliverance. You always use your testimonies to serve as a source of inspiration. And like I've always asked on my community tabs, is what value can you contribute to the community? Because in his case, okay, All I see is just drama, childish antics, very sexually charged comments too. All that stuff, along
I'm
with
like,
like,
it's like, and the thing is though, it's funny, right? One thing that I've actually seen with the Hispanotaps and the individual that we're talking of is that they do not is that these guys they have like they want to go and try to fat shame people. So my thing is that what like why is it that if a person is happy and everything like that, you want to try to fat shame a person, or try to or you want to try to put your preferences or what or persons should look like on other people. That is one thing that I don't get.
But you know something, Don Armando, the real, and I said this many times. I don't police what other people do on their platforms. I don't police regarding who they allow on their platforms. They are the ones that make that determination. So, and there's always people that just love to create issues, for whatever reason. Sometimes it could be because of you know some trauma that or some situations that haven't been able to resolve, which is why I truly believe if it was left up to me before a person tries to open up a YouTube channel, they have to undergo a psychological analysis to see if they're well mentally. Um, Now, as far as the person that you're referring to, he's been banned on my platform again. I mean, if you were to see the stream we got my last episode open discussion, the evidence speaks for himself regarding his regarding
Right,
his regarding his conduct, and
right, and
I was very patient with him.
right. But the thing is this though. Like the person that me and Georgia is talking about, right? Now I'm gonna go. Now this is one thing I'm gonna say, Georgia. Remember that message that I went up and I sent you because this was sent to me by somebody that I don't know what it is, but you and I we could talk about it in the back in the back seats.
hmm
But that person went up and sent me something because I don't know if certain people may not see eye to eye with certain individuals, but the person, what me and that person talk, he has like a great respect for you. So being a person that has a great respect for you, George, or that person went up and sent me the stuff that was the stuff that that person said about you. Now, now from what I've gathered, and maybe I've been on Telegram and I just was acting a fool because I didn't know anybody. To tell you the truth, until you actually heard my voice on Radical. He's like, "Yo, I know this guy." I was like, "Hold up," because I talk to many people on Telegram. I'm putting it out there. So when you and I we actually started bonding and everything like that, I was like, "Ah, yeah, he's a cool dude. He's a cool, respectable guy." And when I saw the rumors that was actually being spread about you by that one individual, and regarding the past events of your roommates, it
hmm
was it was like, okay, let's go around and be civilized gentlemen. If you're gonna call a man who's actually doing nothing a school shooter, from my knowledge, school shooters actually get the maximum sentence by law, right?
sometimes even the death
So
penalty. But yeah,
exactly. So technically, school shooters would not be in the public eye unless it's Japan, but that's another story.
What?
Um,
Look on.
and then on top that's one thing I could actually say for my accurate assessments of certain stuff. The second thing is that the sexually charged comments towards me, myself and you. It's like this guy has like a pattern, and from the pattern, from what I've seen, is that he actually, I guess, hate men who are actually in relationships or men who are actually confident within themselves on how they move and everything. So therefore, since he can never try to, since he can't come at us with anything edifying, he has to come with something. He has to come at something with us gross, which to me is like, okay, so make up your mind. You don't like me, or you want to go and try to say something to offend me as a heterosexual man.
Yeah.
So therefore, I don't know where this fascination comes from when it comes to me and other individuals. I mean, if it's fascination, I think I should have more subscribers. That's what I'm saying. If I'm still famous,
Yeah.
and it's
That's,
and it's been and it's been to the point that some of these individuals, they make me so famous is to the point that I had to kick off a person just because this guy is an annoying nuisance. You know what I'm talking about, Jose.
yeah.
You've
And
kicked him off.
like,
Yes, I
You've
do.
kicked him off your platform. Yes.
yeah. And like the whole roommate situation, I'm like, that's not even relevant at all anymore. And I even got on to other people's podcasts to talk about that. And I even went on to national TV about that. So this stuff, it's never been a secret. And then he has also referenced that one video from 5 years ago where I'm talking about a migrant caravan of talking about Mexicans. Um, I know exactly what I said in that video, word for word, even to this day. Watch that video again. I said nothing about Mexicans. I was specifically referring to a Central American caravan, not people of the Mexican nationality. You can't
Right.
twist a story like that. If you're going to talk about something, you need to be very accurate about it. Or saying that I was into a transsexual. That transsexual's name that he's talking about, that is Aaron. I actually tried to reach out to Aaron like sometime last year to see what Aaron was up to now and whether Aaron moved away from all that stuff, because I'm just not even into that stuff at all, because you have to evolve. But just because I reached out, that does not mean that I was sexually and romantically involved with Aaron. Aaron, I thought, was great asset to the team during that time, and it was an honor to have Aaron on board, even though I don't want to get down with Aaron like that, because Aaron is not a biological female.
Right.
But
How you doing, Lucas?
what up? Hey, howdy.
Hey.
So that in itself should already dispel and debunk whatever myths that are kind of being perpetuated out there. And this whole, okay, I killed somebody or a mass shooter, that stuff, I mean, honestly, I don't even, that doesn't even bother me. I mean, it's just something that I just kind of just shrug off, right off as just kind of laughable and just kind of move on, though, because if I were really that, I'd be probably at ADX Florence, if you know where that is.
Yeah, I know. That's
80,
where
ADX, that's
Florence
where
is.
El Chapo is right now.
That's where El Chapo. That's where Jeff Fort's at. That's where Larry Hoover's at. That's where what's his name? Pistol Pete is at. This is where the guy the what's this guy Omar Porti is at.
Yeah.
If you're an 80 and countless other high ranking individuals. So with with that said, if you're ADX Pro Florence, there's a a greater chance that you ain't gonna leave alive.
Correct.
Sorry to say.
And I will say one last thing before I have to get off and actually walk my dog because the sun's going down around here. I don't want to walk in the pitch black. But
Got
this
you.
individual, I'm gonna tell it to him like this. I have nothing against you. I don't even oppose you, but at the same time, I'm not in favor of your behavior and just how your online conduct has been. If I do see that you mention God here and there and you put like a heart, you may put like the cross in there, but also keep this in mind if you really are getting that immersed into the biblical word, you might want to look into things like slander and gossip because the word has a lot to say about a person who's spreading slander and misinformation. Saying the stuff that you're saying, along with even just a very lewd and sexually charged comments, that's is behavior indicative of somebody who is clearly and willfully battling with some pretty serious demons to where you are going to need prayers for deliverance because the way you project your demons out here on the internet that is going to stay up there and never get erased is again indicative that you need deliverance because the Bible stresses the importance of deliverance. And I would also recommend that you watch people like Pastor Benny Perez or even Pastor Greg Locke, who is very like pro deliverance, even Daniel Adams or Nick Vivich, who is also an amazing deliverance counselor slash pastor. I think, bro, you would tremendously benefit from those aforementioned individuals, or perhaps just reach out to a really good local pastoral counselor who can truly actually help the Holy Spirit fortify you and sanctify you. Same way that he's working on me. I'm a work in progress, but bro, you got some serious demons, and everybody can see that.
Yeah, I know. Yo, Lucas,
And that's it.
how you doing,
It's
bro?
my final
I hear
speech.
you. I hear you. It was nice having you on my panel, Giorgio.
Yes, Judge, it was always a pleasure to speak with you.
Likewise. It's
Yeah,
nice
have a
talking
good
to you
one,
again,
dude.
Jose.
Do your
Have a
thing.
good one.
Have a great day, Ramon.
All right. You too.
All right, so now we got our brother Lucas on the panel. How you doing, Lucas?
I'm good, man. Not much. How about you? How's everyone doing here?
I'm all
Mhm.
right. We're just talking about the two jackasses of the week, which are creepy polite and Enrique Tario. So I know about your movements and everything like that, and I'm
Hmm.
glad that I've met you on TikTok, and we
Yeah,
have actually expressed on our views about certain stuff on educating the masses and such.
yeah,
So I want to know your personal opinion about Enrique Tario first. With your background.
yeah. I just, it was funny to remember. I think earlier I shared something with you about this lighter skinned Latino who was like, not so much exposing him, but like showcasing him to the Latino world within America. It's just funny how this dude was talking all this garbage, and some of it sounded to me, at least, I don't know about you, but to me it sounded like a lot of like white nationalism to me a little bit, as if he forgot who he was, not just as a black man, but as a Latino, because a lot of Latinos and a lot of even Africans, you know when they come to immigrate to this country, and I can speak on this because I've seen it from firsthand family experience, they'll come to this country and forget who they are, where they come from, not realizing that we're all in the same boat as people of color, you know. So, you know, I don't want to say white supremacist structure, but sure, I'll say that the white supremacist structure within this country, or the dominant society, is going to always remind you that. So when I shared that, I just thought I was thinking about it, but the guy just posted it. I'm like, yeah, he got his ass his little woke up call, I guess, wake up call.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
And
like I was mentioning before, this Dario guy, he was the expendable one. I mean, he was allowed into that movement, into being in this group, but he wasn't gonna be at the same level of the leaders of the whites. So he was. I don't think they care too much about him. I mean, I don't think the Proud Boys fought to keep him out of jail. I mean, look at how quick he was, like judge and sentenced to all of those years. And I don't think that the main leaders of the Proud Boys are really saying anything about it, because this guy is one of the expendable ones. He's one of the sacrificial lambs. I mean, he's the one that is going to have to take one for the team, so to speak. But I don't think the
I think
leadership of the Proud Boys care about them.
I think that they call him the crash test dummy.
Mm. The sacrificial lamb.
No,
Well, the disposable one. You can call it many things, but it all means really the same. It's the one that is the expendable one, the desechable, the discardable one, or the one that can be sacrificed, or the one or the
yeah,
practice dummy, the one that can be the expendable one. I mean,
yeah.
that's what I think it is. That's the impression that I'm getting about him, because I don't hear anybody of the Proud Boys really saying anything. I mean, if he has to be sacrificed to keep other Proud Boys that are more important to the group out of prison, then so be it. I mean, and this is what the guy is learning now. It's kind of like what Nick Fuentes had to learn, because Nick Fuentes wants to be a Hispanic white supremacist, but he's not really allowed in their circles like that. Maybe as an outsider, maybe as somewhat of an associate, but he doesn't really represent those groups, because he's not allowed in there. He's not seen as the same as to somebody who is like white. I mean, even he may be of European descent, yeah, but he's not seen as the same as an American white. He's still Hispanic or Latino, or in there, or the way they will call it, a Mexican. Because as you
Right.
know, all of us Hispanics and Latinos, all of us are Mexicans.
In
Yeah,
certain
that's what
parts
I
of the
assume.
country, yes.
So, well, I mean, that's is well, I don't. It's unfortunate, but it's not surprising. It's not surprising to me that he's getting what he's getting, because that him being in jail for all those years, that means that somebody up in the ranks gets to stay out. It gets to stay, gets to be unscathed and not having to be held accountable.
Right.
I'm yet to see a GoFundMe account for him from his Proud Boy members. I'll wait.
No, no one has set up a damn thing, I'm sure. So,
Of course.
so
Funny
it
part.
kind of proves what I'm saying. I mean, they didn't
All right.
fight for him. I don't think they fought for him to stay to be out, and didn't get him legal counsel, a proper attorney that will fight for him in court.
Right. I mean, okay. So, what is your thoughts on the other guy, Creepy Polite?
You asking me, or you talking to Mr. Barika?
No, I'm actually talking to you, Lucas.
You know what's crazy? I've had I want to say a strong opinion on him for some years, but I used to like watch his lectures, growing up into my super late teens, as I was, delving into consciousness and, different religious theologies, growing up, when I was 16 and above, and even in college. So I'd watch some of his things, as you know, because he's been featured on Sonetter TV, which is right by you guys in the East Coast.
Yeah.
So I just didn't know this guy was like a predator like that until like he got his case. I'm like, there's no way in hell, and it took me a while to come to terms with it. I'm like, what? But then you realize that most of those people within the conscious, so-called quote-unquote conscious community within Sonetter TV are full of shit. They're either scamming people for money, having useless lectures about black nationalism or Pan-Africanism that doesn't get the community nowhere, or religion, or they're just doing something that's really sketchy, and he wasn't the only one that was out here molesting kids. There's been some Hebrews accused of it too, but yet they're not being accountable. Why? Because a lot of black people from the black community don't hold each other accountable. You know, they still don't. They still believe in that no snitching nonsense, which is crazy. You know, what's wrong is wrong. So to see polite finally getting persecuted is needed. And when I've searched on his Instagram recently, it was I think it was about over a week or two ago. Before I heard the latest news, you know, I saw that his views and audience has dropped. People are like not really paying attention to him anymore. It's like he's irrelevant.
Well, but I'm sure that he really is gonna sink into irrelevancy. Now, what I was saying about him earlier, because I don't know, I don't think I finished saying. I do know who he is because then again, I'm from a different community. I'm not supposed to know who he is, but I have heard of him because I've been watching things on YouTube for a long time. So I did eventually did come across a video in which he was talking about himself, and he was talking about all of the published works, all of these published books that he has, and that he was practicing polygamy. And all the more reason it is bizarre that he had to be trying to get together with a kid, because this is somebody who practices polygamy. He already had like what, 2 3 wives, if not more. I
Right.
mean, isn't that enough? Isn't that enough? I mean, he already got a few grown women willing to willing to have sex with him. Why will he need to be with a fucking kid?
Exactly. That's my whole point. Like this guy has even other women celebrities he could hook up with. Why hook up? Why do something to a vulnerable
He
kid? That's
really
just
fucked
messed
that
up.
up for himself. He
Yeah.
really
But
messed that up for himself.
but here's the thing, Mr. Boricua. Like it makes no sense because when I really thought about this, because the case came out what about 2 years ago. Is that right, Don? You guys?
I think it was like 3 or 4 years ago when I first started hearing it, and then they went up and they arrested him. But I didn't really know all the other details because I was not following it. And then boom, it's like he pleaded 7 years. So I was actually listening to it on a hip hop website or whatsoever.
Yeah.
And then the next thing you know, there was like, oh, you know, there, there was like this there was like that this guy was saying that, yo, this person is, suspect and everything like that.
Yeah.
So it's now from my gathering is that they got a guy, that guy that you mentioned, Sarnetta.
Yeah.
It, the, okay, uh, all right.
No, did you freeze? I mean, can't hear you.
What if it's connection?
Oh.
Oh wait. That's. Does he know that he's muted or?
I don't know. I hear that I hear the TV, but I don't know if he had to step away or something.
Huh. Okay, well let's just continue until he comes back on then. But no, based on what he was saying, my thing is you could see literally like video footage of Polite in the girl in the hotel going to a certain room. So it's like who let her go with Polite alone? Was the mother in on this to get money out of him to set him up? Okay,
Well, I don't know.
I'm not saying what he did was right, of course, you know.
Of course,
But I'm
it's
saying,
not.
but I'm saying that if the mother purposely put the daughter, like, because a lot of these people do it, just like with Michael Jackson, just like with R. Kelly, even though I know for a fact R. Kelly was completely wrong what he did, they set people up to be in those situations so they can get money and extort money from them, you know, which is also wrong. So it's like, if that's the case, she needs to be held accountable. But I really doubt that it's going to happen. So I want to
To
hear.
a degree, yeah, there could have been involvement from the mother, and partially, I understand that she didn't let she didn't let the daughter testify, which will have sent him away for a really long time. But apparently, the mother didn't allow her because she's still a minor. The mother didn't allow her to testify in court. I understand that.
Mm,
So her testimony will really have sent him away,
really?
away. Most likely, from what I believe. So in the end, he got to plead guilty to a certain charge. But the thing is that once he gets out for the 7 years, he doesn't have to register as a sex offender,
What?
which is mind blowing to me
Get
because
the
I
fuck
understand.
out.
Yeah, my understanding is that that is part of the plea deal. That was okay. He admits to maybe having been in an inappropriate situation with a minor, but part of the plea deal is when he gets out, and after the 7 years, that is like that 10-year probation that he is gonna have to deal with. But still, my understanding is that he's not gonna have to
Yeah, I'm back. Yeah, I'm back,
register as
guys.
a sex offender. Uh-huh.
Jesus, man.
I just
What's up,
had to
guys?
do a little bit of something. So my thing is, I'm just listening and everything like that because I'm like, wow,
Yeah.
they're really gonna let him off the hook like that?
Wow.
Yeah, well, he's gonna be having to deal with things for the next 17 years because that is still the 7 years plus the probation, which is something that he better toe the line, or else he's gonna be violated back into prison, and then he's gonna have to deal to keep being in prison for a long time. But that's the part that really surprised me. The allegation that they are from what I understand, that a part of the plea deal is that he doesn't have to register as a sex offender, like which is something that everybody else has to do. I mean, if R. Kelly ever gets out, I'm sure that he's gonna have to register as a sex offender. But apparently, not polite.
What
I'm,
the
I mean,
Well,
I'm,
I,
yeah. All
I
right,
have
Don
an
Jose.
I have an issue with that because basically what he did, which he confessed, mind you, he confessed this, was
Mhm.
okay. I'm going to frame it in this way: inappropriate adult conduct, like conduct with a minor, because we have to be mindful of what we say here in this platform.
Yeah, yeah.
Um,
One has to be careful with the terms. I mean, we're not
yes. So,
we're
so
gonna be graphic here. Mhm.
no, I'm not going to be graphic, and I'm not even going to go to details. I'm just simply going to say fact that whenever you have an individual that looks at children and see children in that light, that's a that's a spirit, that's a demonic spirit, and the fact that he's not going to be registered as a sexual predator, I have a huge issue with that. So we shall wait and see. But I'm gonna drop off. It was always a pleasure, Don Armando, to interact with you.
Thank you, Don Jose.
Because the introvert. And I said it before, and I said it again, Ramon. If you come to New York in the wintertime, I will come to
Mhm.
Texas in the summertime.
Uh, nah, nah. I'm not a cold weather person. Not likely.
Yes, yes, but we haven't. Yes, but we haven't had a cold winter in years. We haven't had any winter in years. But the good
Yes, you
news is,
have. Yes, you have. Oh, I hate that. You being in denial. That's not what I heard from Kishel. Kishel said something else. There was snow and had to plow
No, no,
snow
no, no,
outside. You
no,
know.
no, no, no.
okay, but
But last year,
okay,
was no snow.
Okay, but it
but
did get
Yeah.
cold.
it didn't get cold. But almost predict over phone that we're going to get a nice chilly winter.
Okay, okay. All right. You can keep your chili winter, but that's all right. That's all right. I don't need
Uh,
it. I don't need it. I mean, I like
with
warm. I like warm. Mhm.
Yo,
during the winter time,
it's-
you can play in the snow and what have you. But I'm dropping and have a good night, guys.
You
All right.
too.
you
You
too, Don
too. You
Jose.
too, Don Jose.
Yo, but maybe it's because of maybe it's because this is gonna sound far fetched, but maybe it's because of the reason why he didn't get a higher charge is because maybe of his connections and the money that he has. I mean, I know most of his money has been to scamming, but I'm pretty sure he was smart enough to invest it. You know.
Well,
Right.
maybe because of all the scamming, was he able to afford a decent lawyer that got him somewhat of a minimum sentence, and he was able to plea whatever charges he had. They were able to plea them down to something minimal. You see, because
Mm.
what happens
From
in
what I
court,
heard is
you can be stuck with a charge, but the defense can get a plea to bring the charges down to something smaller with a smaller sentence.
Yeah.
So maybe
from
that's what it
from
is. Mhm.
Mm.
from what I heard, and I'm just saying this is what's been buzzing around. The reason why I guess he had like a plea, whatever, is because they had DNA evidence. So if if you were to actually take this to a whole trial,
Oh,
and you had a lot of DNA evidence with
he had
that,
to plea. He had to take the plea because
Jesus
if he
Christ.
wanted to do, he had to. He
yeah.
had
There
to
was
because if it goes to trial, if it goes to a real trial, he will have been
You,
crucified. Yeah.
you will be seeing football numbers. That's all I gotta say.
Wait. So my question is he going to physical prison or is it's all in house?
No, no,
No,
he has to go
he's
to
going
to a
to
jail,
state prison. He has to go to.
some
He's
type
going.
of state prison, but
What?
he's gonna have to be in like solitary confinement the whole time
Oh,
because
because
I mean, court is
they're
gonna.
gonna fuck him up.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we know the politics, the prison politics, or
Yeah.
somebody who is accused of abusing a minor. We
Yeah.
know, we know what happens.
yeah.
So they're gonna
So
bring him to New York prison where he's from.
No. What happened is, I guess he did that outside of New York, right?
Yeah.
Mm.
So, so I guess it was Atlanta or Georgia or something where he did that, or Florida, if I'm might not be mistaken. It
Jeez.
had to be somewhere down south. So therefore, he's gonna be serving prison time down south.
Damn.
The only thing that will save him, and I'm going to tell you this, which I didn't bring up. What a lot of people don't know about Brother Polite was before he was polite or anything like that.
Yeah.
He was once the shot caller of the Crips.
Yeah. That's true. Yeah, I remember.
So so if he goes to jail automatically, depending on what set of the Crips are in there, he might have to go pay them for protection.
Yeah, yeah,
The,
yeah. Because they're gonna assume that he has some money, so they're gonna be.
I,
Yeah, it's gotta be
I
money.
mean,
You're right.
yeah, because there was a guy that that he has a podcast. He was in jail, right?
Hmm.
Now this guy was not hood or anything like that. So he just wanted to be said that he said like, "Yo, I want to, but I paid for protection. I don't know how to fight." So he paid for the protection and stuff. He said they had like a nice time up in prison. I guess he got caught for drugs smuggling and stuff. And if you actually see the guy, he's a Caucasian guy with glasses. He just went up and said it. He was like, "Yeah, I went up and I paid for protection." You could tell this guy was in hood. Looked like he doesn't even have boxing skills or whatsoever. So he was like, "Yeah, I got the money, so I did what I had to do."
Wow. This is fucking
Yeah,
7 years. Brother Polite's going to prison.
yeah. People like whatever, but guess what? If it's Florida and everything like that, and I know I got my connections out in Florida. The only thing that he's gonna end up doing is these three things. Since he was a shot caller of the Crips, I don't know what branch. I don't know if his branch is in Florida. First of all, right? You might have to go around and lick some kneecaps for that one. Number two, if people out there, because I watch 1090 Jake and all these other prison podcasters or whatever. 9 times out of 10, if he's going to like Florida prison, they're gonna it's gladiator school. Number three, he with all his money or whatever value that he has is gonna go down the drain, and because you'll have to pay for protection. Now, an interesting turnout is that everybody's gonna go at Sarnetta right now
Yep.
for
Because he knew.
it's not that he knew. It's just that Sarnetta, like say this. I'm gonna explain it to you like this.
I want to say something when you're done, but okay, I'm listening.
Sarnetta has been an influential person. I've heard him when it was Hassan Campbell, but I don't watch Hassan Campbell because of certain things that he says. When him and Sarnetta, when Sarnetta was editing his videos and whatsoever, right?
Yeah.
And everything like that. So Hassan Campbell and Sarnetta had a falling out. Now Sarnetta, a lot of people could say whatever, but basically in New York, not all people, but certain people who I guess were both the conscious community or what have you, have said that Sarnetta is actually full of crap.
Yep.
I don't know if you're familiar with 125th Street. So you have people who they say that they're conscious, right? And they have all these books, which to me won't amount to nothing because I will see that person. I could see that person 1 year, right? And
Mm.
then 5 years they still at that place with the little table and everything like that, trying to sell those books. So I already knew that that person was not conscious, and then 9 times out of 10 that person was speaking crap, and that's how I view Steinetta because there's certain people that I see that they could talk the talk and everything, but then when there's certain stuff that they say which is against your faith and my faith respectfully, Lucas,
Yeah. Hmm.
you could tell that I'm like, yeah, something's not right here. And
Mm.
that's how I'm gonna leave it. And now since he came from the school of Sonetta, now everybody's going at him at this point.
Okay, you
Mm.
there are the allegations of some kind of misconduct for him too.
No, it's like okay, like say for instance, I'm gonna explain it to you in simpler terms. Let's just say that you have somebody under you, right?
Mhm.
And then they starts preaching stuff, but yeah, you're like the big kahuna. You didn't go you gave that guy the cosign or whatsoever. So now that this guy's in trouble and he messed up and whatever because he got too greedy and stuff, they're gonna go after you because you're the one that instructed him. Now they're not gonna go after him legally, but they're gonna go at him to say like, okay, what you're doing was wrong. He came from your school and he did that. Now we're gonna hold you accountable. That's
Can I
that's
say
what's gonna
something
go on. Yeah.
to add on? And I don't know, because bro, when this first came about, I was listening to their lives and how dysfunctional it was. Sonetter, and when people are mad, they tell the truth. Like 9 times out of 10, Sonetter was on live about the situation. You could tell he was nervous about himself getting arrested too, because apparently Polite was also trying to take Sonetter down too for something. And Sonetter said something in regards to because back in the like mid or early, like no, I said mid 2000s. Polite adopted like a little black girl, and but apparently when Sonetta was mad on that live, he said that he had kidnapped that little black girl from her mom, and she was looking for where she was. So that kind of rings a bell in people's ears to see how perverted these guys were. And this whole time, Sonetta was just having his back because of money, because Polite had the money. You know what I'm saying? So, like you said, Don, it's true. Yeah, he's going to be held accountable because people are going to refer back to that live. I'm pretty sure he deleted the live, but some people will remember and bring it up.
Hmm.
Yeah.
I didn't know anything about that. But well, I guess wouldn't put him behind. I wouldn't put it past him. I should say,
Mhm.
given what has transpired lately.
Yeah.
It's a hot mess. It is a hot mess.
Very much so.
Yeah. But
I'm about to
yeah,
close up and everything. So y'all got any last statements?
well, I
I don't.
mean, the only thing that I can say really quick is that, hey, Armando, I know that I caught your live a little late because I was in the middle of something, but I still wanted to come by a little bit and give a shout out and show some support. So I appreciate you letting me be on your panel. And this is a hot mess. It is not gonna be. It's not something that we're gonna condone. That's not something that we are gonna give a pass. And dude, what's in the wrong? Dude, it's getting off somewhat easy. That's if nothing happens to him in the next 7 years when he's in prison. Uh, but aside from that, he somewhat got off not too bad. Not too bad. There is a reason why he had to take that plea deal because he knew he was gonna send away for a long time. I mean, if he went to trial, he went all the way to trial. So that's all I can say about that. We're gonna see what happens with him. Let's hope that at least he does the whole 7 years. That they don't let him out earlier. I mean, maybe he's never been in trouble before, so that they will take that into consideration. But still, that doesn't make it. That doesn't make it okay. That's messed up. And I don't know what is it with the mom. I don't know if she was really trying to protect the girl because on a stand, taking a witness stand, they're gonna be asking so many questions. They're gonna be asking so many questions that are gonna they're gonna feel very intrusive and very invasive, and maybe that's what the mom wanted to prevent for her kid. There are people that are interpreting that as her being in some kind of collusion with him, trying to keep people from knowing what actually happened and somewhat trying to protect him. Maybe that's not what it is. Maybe that's not what it is. Maybe she's just trying to protect her girl from the intrusiveness of being of having to sit on the witness stand. But we'll see what happens with this. And aside from that, that's all I got. So Armando, appreciate you letting me be on your panel. I'm gonna be taking my leave. Shout out to both of you, Armando and Lucas, and you guys have a good one.
You too,
You
man.
too, Ramon.
Nice meeting you.
That's me, man.
All right, take care, guys.
Yeah, peace.
Peace. Now, this is my own final thing. Tonight we had like a nice topic where we talked about those donkeys of the week. All I gotta say to my public is stay safe, stay sucker free, and mostly just be aware. I'm out.